様ごきげんよう。 JC インサイトのお時間です。現在私はですね、フロリダオーランドにおります。 CPAC2022 の真っ只中で、本日は土曜日2月の26日になります。今日はですね、特別にアメリカでは大人気の下院議員、ビリー・ロング下院議員にお越しいただきました。ビリー・ロング議員、本当に今日はお忙しい中ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much for the invitation and having me on the program here. Thank you.
はじめにビリー・ロング議員のプロフィールを簡単に紹介したいと思います。ビリー・ロング議員は1955年の8月、ミズーリ州スプリングフィールドで生まれました。そしてビリー・ロングオークションLLC というですね、有名な競売の会社をお持ちで、競売のプロとしてですね、ぜひ皆さんにも聞いていただきたいんですけれども、ものすごいまくし立てるオークションのスペシャリストとしての腕をお持ちです。ちょっとそれを置いとくんですけれども、2011年にミズーリ州選出の下院議員として現在までずっと務めておられます。そして今回のポイントは、ロング議員はですね、米国議会日本研究グループの共同議長を務めておられるということです。で、これは93年に創設された超党派の議員グループでして、約75名の現職の連邦上院下院議員を擁して、各種講演会、それから勉強会を実施して、議会における対日の理解を深めるという目的で創設されたものです。で、この米国議会日本研究グループをずっとですね、引っ張ってこられた長年の栄誉を通じましてですね、2021年の去年ですね、旭日賞の勲章も受賞されておられます。今日はそのあたりからですね、伺いまして、ビリー・ロング議員と日本とのつながりについて深めてみたいと思います。じゃあ、早速質問させていただきたいと思います。まず最初の質問させていただきます。ビリー・ロング議員は今申し上げたアメリカの米国議会日本研究グループの共同議長を務めておられますけれども、これを務められてその前から日本に対する理解は結構深かったんでしょうか。あるいはこれを務められてから日本に対する理解が深まった、こんな感じでしょうか。
Was not very familiar with Japan at all when I started as co-chair of the Congressional Study Group on Japan, but I knew what an important part of the world that is and what a treasured ally that Japan is to the United States. So when the role opened up as co-chair, Shelley Moore Capito, who's now a senator, was a congressman, and she was in that position before me. And when she decided to run for the Senate, they decided they needed someone to take over that role, and it's a bipartisan effort. There's Diana DeGette is the Democrat. She's from Denver, Colorado, representative, and so they came to me and asked me because they wanted someone that was available and friendly and open. And like I said, they always said that President Obama pivoted to Asia, but I pivoted to Asia before he did because I realized what an important part of the world that is and what a great treasured ally that Japan is. And I've thoroughly enjoyed my time as co-chair. It's a great experience, and I take a congressional delegation over there every year.
ありがとうございます。日本に何度か行かれた日本の印象についてちょっと伺っていいでしょうか。
That's one of the reasons I enjoyed taking people there every year was because it's hard to understand Japan until you actually go and physically are there. It's an unbelievable country. I was on a Codel to China, and you heard constant horn honking all the time and cars pulling in and out. Then we went from there to Japan on a different Codel on the same trip, and I heard one car honk the whole time I was there, so quite a difference. I've also noticed there's no trash cans in Japan because apparently it's impolite to throw your trash away. People will put it in their pocket and throw it away when they get home, which is not anything like the United States of America. When you see trash up and down our highways, so Japan's a beautiful, beautiful country, and so I really have enjoyed all my trips over there.
なるほど。ありがとうございます。実際この米国議会の日本研究グループの代表を務められたことによって、ちょうど2021年、その日本での旭日賞という勲章をですね、受賞されておられますけれど、勲章を日本で受賞された感想などありましたらお聞かせください。
I was incredibly honored whenever they called and told me that I was to receive the Order of the Rising Sun, and it was during COVID, so we couldn't have the ceremony right away, and they also said don't tell anyone because we don't want them to know until you have the presentation, the ceremony. But it was an incredible honor. They told me at the ceremony, I haven't verified this, but since they've been giving out the award, which was back in the 1800s, I'm the only second Missourian to receive the award, and it was an honor of a lifetime.
ありがとうございます。それではですね、ちょっと日米関係について伺ってみたいと思います。バイデン政権になってから約1年が経ちました。で、そのことによってトランプ政権の時とバイデン政権の時と比べて日米関係に何かが変化があったように感じるか、あるいはアメリカの対日政策というか対日関係について何か変化を感じるか、もしそういったところがあればぜひ聞かせてください。
Of course, President Trump is no longer president, and Prime Minister Abe is no longer prime minister. Prime Minister Abe and President Trump had a great relationship, and I don't think that we'll ever have as close a ties as what those two had, because they had a real affection for each other, and that's what I say is that there's a chemistry between Americans and Japanese, between the Japanese people and American people. It's hard to explain, but there's a real chemistry. However, if anyone wants to go to Japan and wants to do business in Japan, they need to be prepared for establishing relationships. They're not going to accept you the first time or second time. They're going to kind of check you out, and you have to establish a good rapport with the Japanese people. And then, I don't know, the third or fourth trip, they're so excited when you walk in the room, and I've always felt very welcomed. And so I hope that it's been a little hard to tell since the travel's been limited with COVID between Japan and the United States. So I'm not sure exactly what the Biden administration, but I hope that they realize what a cherished ally Japan is.
なるほど。おっしゃる通りだと思います。実際2019年の2月に議員団を率いて日本に入られて安倍首相ともお会いになっていると思うんですが、当時の安倍首相の印象などあれば何か聞かせていただけますか？
It was, he was always very warm and welcoming to our delegation when we would come in. And of course, the escalator, it's the first time I'd seen an escalator that went both ways. Because when we got there, it went up. There was only one escalator. And I thought, how are we going to get down? I didn't realize they reversed it. But on one trip in particular, he had been here to play golf and visit with President Trump for the first time. And so I took him a dozen golf balls and a golf hat and a golf towel. And when I walked in, they said, it's against protocol. You cannot give the Prime Minister a gift. And I said, that's fine, because I'm going to give him 3 gifts. And I had explained that to President Trump. We'd had a meeting with some of Trump's early supporters, Senator Marshall Blackburn, who was in Congress then, and different members at the White House. And the press was there. But I thought they were just shooting B-roll for later. I didn't know that we were on live TV. And so I started talking about Prime Minister Abe and President Trump, because we were going to be leaving 2 days later to go to Japan. And I told him that I'd say hi to him and to Abe for the president. And so when we sat down and Prime Minister Abe opened his remarks, he didn't look at the chair. He looked at me, and he said, Congressman Long, I saw you talking about me on Fox News. And I thought that was pretty funny, because I didn't realize I was on live TV when I was making my comments. And he did say that his grandfather played golf with Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, and then he had played golf with Trump. That's the only 2 prime ministers to play golf with American presidents, which was something else I found interesting. And one thing I want to add before we go on to the next question, the fish market in Japan, where they have the auction, I would always get the delegation up at 5:30 on the bus at 5:30 in the morning to go over, because of the auction aspect, and to see that magnificent fish market. And that's something else. Until you see it, you can't believe it. And then we'd have fresh sushi at 7 o'clock in the morning, which was always a great experience.
本当に貴重な細かい詳細に入った思い出をいろいろ聞かせていただいてありがとうございました。じゃあこれで最後の質問になります。今年の11月、いよいよ中間選挙がございます。当然、共和党は勝利するものと思うんですけれども、この中間選挙以降ですね、共和党が勝利した後、この日本も含めた東アジアに対する米国の政策にですね、何か変化が起きるとお考えでしょうか。あるいはこういう変化を起こすべきというお考えがあれば、最後に聞かせてください。
We can certainly attempt to bolster the relationship. Anytime you have a president from the opposite party, your hands are sort of tied to how much you can do. But Japan has a lot of friends on the Republican side of the aisle in both the House and the Senate. So hopefully things will only improve with our long storied relationship.
今日は貴重なお時間いただきまして、素晴らしいインタビューをいただきました。本当にありがとうございました。
Thank you. I'm working on my Japanese because I am an auctioneer also. So next time I go to the fish market, I can't auction in Japanese yet. So, but I'm still working at it because what I do now is I but 100 a quarter hands of about 2 and a quarter hands of about 3 equal about 300 3 and a quarter hands of about 4. I have sold at 375 right here. Thank you for your time.
以上で本日の JCU インサイトを終わらせていただきます。それでは皆様ごきげんよう。
Is strong and growing stronger every single day. The radical left is exposed, they're weak, and their pathetic policies have been out there long enough now that we don't want them, we'll never take them. We are bringing back our country, and we are bringing back our freedom. The socialists, globalists,